Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Everybody is like, oh my gosh, we don't know who we're going to hire if we fire Kevin Stefanski. The person is right in Seattle. Kubiak would be our answer. Kevin Stefanski just hasn't done what he said that he was going to do. So I think hiring Kubiak would really help our offense be more efficient and more reliable. I think everywhere that Kubiak has went, the offense has always had success. Kevin just hasn't been good, and he's just so stubborn and won't change. And I just think that we just need somebody to develop Shador, get him some weapons, and let's get this thing rolling. I think Shador is our franchise quarterback going forward. He's proven that he can push the ball down the field. So, yeah, go Browns.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. So here's it's Klint Kubiak who he's referring to. He's 38 years old. He's been with 5 different teams the last 5 years, mostly as an offensive coordinator. He might be good. He's never been a head coach at any level. And he's never had a second season with an offense in the last 5 years. That's the problem is you're playing coordinator roulette, and most of the time the coordinators don't turn out.
Yeah, it's such a complex, nuanced thing when you're trying to hire a head coach because it's not just about can he design an offense. And I believe Kubiak can do that. I mean, we know his dad. He's worked with Kevin Stefanski. I thought he would have been a great offensive coordinator to hire here. And I think they wound up going with Ken Dorsey because this year they just went with Tommy Rees. So
Yep.
I believe it was the Ken Dorsey year. They hired him. I thought they should have kept Kubiak, and they didn't because they were looking for somebody from a different system than Stefanski. I think they thought they were too similar. But it's beyond that. You got to be able to lead men, right? You got to have a consistent message. You have to be able to handle the ups and downs and the in-game decisions and all of it. So it's not just, hey, can this guy call plays? How's he been as a coordinator? What's his offense look like? It goes way beyond that, and I do too. But we get caught up in that. And I think if you look at a guy like Dan Campbell, right? It's not about he's calling plays now, but it's not about that. It's about the culture and all that he brings. Now, you get a guy like Matt LaFleur who's calling plays or Sean McVay, but McVay's not just a play caller either. I mean, he's a genius, but you can tell guys play hard for him and they relate to him, and he's just got a presence about him. So I think you have to keep that in mind when you're talking about potential head coaches if they need a head coach. I'd also say this, Kubiak and Stefanski are similar systems, similar styles. I don't know if that's something the organization would want or not want.
Yeah, normally when you go away from one, you usually go 180 degrees different. The other thing, there isn't a slam dunk coordinator by all accounts. It's not like you had Ben Johnson, who was out there for a couple of years, or Mike Vrabel, who was a former head coach. That guy doesn't exist this year. Again, it's a tough decision to make. What are you going to, I guess, is what I want to know.
Yeah, and I think the Haslam have to keep that in mind if they make any of these decisions. I also know that there's 4 weeks left in this season, and a lot of stuff happens in the final 4 weeks. And after the season, right, there's always guys that get fired you're not expecting to get fired. They could look at college, they could look at coordinators, they could look at Tommy Rees. I mean, there's options for this team, but I'm with you. There's not the guy that screams, okay, he's a huge upgrade over Kevin Stefanski. And I'm not saying that that's a reason to keep the status quo, but it certainly, I would think, should be a factor, especially if the Haslams like Stefanski and were inclined to keep continuity as it was, right, which I think is a default. I would think that they would have to have a better succession plan in mind.
Yeah, give me if you're going to move on from Stefanski, have an idea of who you want, I guess is a better way to say it from my perspective.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, is Mike Tomlin that guy? Right? If it doesn't work out in Pittsburgh and he's
yeah.
Like there's a lot of moving pieces here. So that's why it's probably a tad too early. But I get you. Like everybody knew Ben Johnson, everybody knew Mike Vrabel, and I've been racking my brain trying to figure out who's on that short list, and I don't know that answer.
Here's a question for you: is Mike McCarthy that guy? He was a guy with quarterbacks, so that's the only reason I arrive at that. But they've chased him out of a couple of places.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like he's done, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they want that veteran guy. I mean, I thought Lane Kiffin would have been an option here, right? It's not going to be now. He just went to LSU, right? So I feel like a couple guys have been crossed off that list.